A group of armed thugs was on a violent robbery spree. Tony, who had just returned from retirement, happened to witness everything. Seeing a woman about to be taken hostage, he stepped in without hesitation, letting out a loud shout, immediately drawing the thugs' attention. They warned him to stay out of it, but even when faced with dozens of guns, Tony remained fearless. With a swift strike, he took one down instantly. Bullets rained toward him, yet he dodged them with ease. Within mere seconds, the remaining robbers were all down. However, Tony had no idea. The person he saved was actually the richest man in the world. To repay his life-saving grace, the tycoon offered him a fortune of $100 billion on the spot. He even proposed to marry off his granddaughter to him, but Tony merely gave a calm smile, saying he saved people simply out of instinct. Besides, he already had a fiancée. He had returned this time to fulfill his engagement. Hearing this, the tycoon became intrigued. He asked which lucky lady was engaged to him. Tony answered without hesitation, the young lady of the family. The tycoon was momentarily stunned, then immediately revealed that his destination was actually her banquet. He invited Tony to go with him, but Tony didn't want any trouble. Politely declining, he boarded a bus alone, heading to the young lady's house. Little did he expect, an ambush awaited along the way. One of the thugs swung a chainsaw, slicing open the bus roof. Then, a smoke grenade was tossed inside. Thick smoke filled the air, forcing the driver to stop. All passengers were ordered off the bus. At that moment, a man tried to escape, but the leader shot him in the head instantly, terrifying everyone into silence. Then, a young man stepped forward in anger, calling the thugs cowards for only using guns, daring them to fight him one-on-one. The young man proudly declared he was the national champion of a special combat tournament. However, no one expected the so-called champion to be taken down in a single move, completely powerless to resist. Just as despair filled the air, a rotten apple suddenly hit the leader's head. Before he could react, another apple struck him again, infuriating him completely. But Tony had already made his move. Within seconds, only the leader remained standing. Witnessing the scene, the leader dropped to his knees and surrendered. After taking care of the criminals, Tony finally arrived at the young lady's banquet. But just as he picked up a piece of bread to fill his stomach, trouble found him again. Someone mocked him on the spot for looking like a poor beggar. After a brief argument, Tony asked the young lady to confirm his identity. However, when she appeared, she coldly claimed she didn't know him, and that she would never marry him. Mike, standing nearby, sneered even more. Tony didn't bother arguing. He simply pulled out the engagement contract, telling her to read it clearly. But the young lady scoffed, saying such outdated traditions had no place in modern times. Hearing this, Tony told her to call her grandfather. At the same time, he was already preparing to teach Mike a lesson. Just then, the grandfather finally arrived. Upon seeing Tony, he immediately confirmed the engagement was real, but then stated that it was merely a way to repay an old life-saving debt. Looking at his granddaughter, he asked if she was willing. She firmly refused. The old man, hearing this, declared he would repay the favor 100-fold, then ordered his men to give Tony 100 pancakes as repayment, and force-fed them to him. At that moment, the tycoon walked in,